Right now, as you're listening to this, there's a bird somewhere in your backyard talking about you. That isn't a metaphor. It isn't poetry. It's science. Birds possess a communication system so complex that scientists have spent decades trying to understand it. And what researchers have uncovered in recent years has completely changed our understanding of how birds communicate. The birds visiting your yard aren't simply singing. They're exchanging information. They're issuing warnings. They're making judgments. And a surprisingly large part of that conversation is about you, who you are, how dangerous you might be, and whether or not you're someone they can trust. And science has now confirmed it. This is Secret Life of Birds. To understand what birds are saying about you, you first need to understand something important. Birds don't have just one type of song. They have several, and each serves a completely different purpose. There's the territorial song, the one you hear at dawn when a cardinal lands on the highest branch and sings loudly for everyone to hear. That song isn't about happiness. It's a warning. The bird is essentially saying, "This territory belongs to me. If you're another cardinal, stay away." Then there's the courtship song, usually softer, more complex, and designed to attract a mate. But there's a third category of sound that's even more important to this story. And technically, it isn't a song at all. It's a call. Calls are short, rapid, highly specific sounds, and they form the true language of birds. Some are contact calls. One bird says, "I'm over here, where are you?" Another responds. It's basically the bird version of text messaging, brief, direct, and constant. Then there are alarm calls, and these are the ones that involve you. Every time you step into your backyard, birds evaluate you in less than 2 seconds. Based on what they decide, they produce different calls. If you're familiar and harmless, the call is quiet and brief. The message is simple. It's the usual human, no need to worry. But if you are unfamiliar, or if you suddenly do something unexpected, the call changes dramatically. Black-capped chickadees provide one of the most studied examples of this system, and what scientists discovered is remarkable. Chickadees produce an alarm call that sounds something like chickadee. Those extra D syllables aren't random. They're information. The more dangerous the threat, the more Ds the bird adds. A large owl perched in a tree may trigger only a few extra syllables, moderate danger. But a smaller, more agile owl, one that poses a greater threat to birds, can trigger 5, 6, or even more Ds. Maximum danger. This isn't a generic panic call. It's a detailed threat report, with the danger level encoded directly into the sound itself. And here's the incredible part. The system isn't limited to chickadees. Other species understand it too. Nuthatches hear the alarm and react. Wrens hear it and hide. Robins hear it and immediately alter their behavior. Even squirrels respond to chickadee warning calls. It's an interspecies communication network, an invisible information system operating above your head every day. And without realizing it, you're one of the main topics being discussed. When you walk into your backyard in the morning, this is what happens during the first 30 seconds. The first bird that spots you sends out a call. That call contains information about your size, your movement, your speed, and whether you're considered a threat. The message spreads from tree to tree, from fence to fence, from shrub to shrub. Within seconds, every bird within roughly 50 meters knows you've entered the area. They know whether you're familiar or unfamiliar. They know whether they should be concerned. And all of this happens before half a minute has passed. Most of the time, you never notice. To you, it sounds like ordinary birdsong. But the conversation doesn't stop there. Scientists have discovered something even more fascinating. Birds don't just communicate danger, they communicate safety. Imagine a sparrow calmly feeding at your bird feeder. Other birds watching from nearby branches interpret that behavior as valuable information. If the sparrow isn't nervous and isn't flying away, conditions must be safe. It means the area is clear. Researchers call this an inadvertent social signal. The feeding bird isn't intentionally sending a message, yet its behavior communicates information just as effectively as an alarm call. This explains why one bird feeding peacefully often attracts several others. It's not coincidence. It's real-time social information processing. Your backyard is constantly generating data. Every movement, every sound, every silence. Birds are gathering, sharing, and analyzing all of it. And there's an even deeper level scientists are only beginning to understand. Researchers refer to it as the soundscape of fear. This is the auditory map birds create of their surroundings, based on the sounds around them. When your yard is filled with relaxed songs and gentle contact calls, the soundscape tells birds everything is normal. They forage, they bathe, they preen, they relax. But when danger appears, the soundscape changes instantly. Alarm calls begin, songs stop, contact calls disappear, and suddenly, a heavy silence settles over the yard. That silence isn't empty. It's one of the strongest warning signals in the bird world. When every bird becomes silent at the same moment, something has entered the area. A cat, a hawk, a stranger. The silence communicates one simple message: danger. Stay still. If you've ever noticed your backyard suddenly becoming completely silent, it wasn't random. It was a coordinated, collective response. And there's a good chance you were the reason. So, let's return to the original question. What are the birds in your backyard saying about you? If you're someone who moves slowly, avoids sudden noises, and regularly provides food, the conversation about you is short and uneventful. It's the usual person. Everything's fine. But if you're unpredictable, noisy, or if your cat follows you outside, the conversation becomes much more intense. The alarm calls last longer. The warnings spread farther. More birds pay attention. Your reputation among the local bird community is updated once again. Every time you step outside, you're being evaluated, you're being reported, you're being categorized, and perhaps the most fascinating part is that this conversation never truly ends. From the first song at sunrise to the final call before nightfall, birds are constantly communicating. They're sharing information. They're building a collective understanding of everything happening in your yard, including you. So the next time you step outside and hear a bird calling from a nearby branch, listen carefully. It may not be singing for itself at all. It may be talking about you, using a language millions of years old that science is only now beginning to decode. If you'd like to learn which birds visiting your yard are considered the smartest and just how far their communication abilities really go, we'll explore that in the next video. Subscribe to Secret Life of Birds. Leave a like if this changed the way you hear birds. And tell me in the comments, have you ever noticed your backyard suddenly fall completely silent? Now you know why. See you in the next video.